Let me start by introducing myself. I'm Thomas Coombs. You may have heard of me as the Hope Guy. First of all, let me very quickly say that started as a joke. I'm actually not very optimistic or positive. I'm quite grumpy and negative. But that's our first lesson about hope. Hope is the idea that tomorrow can be better than today if we take action. I see hope as very different from positivity or optimism, which are more of a sense of things are okay or things are going to work out. Hope is clear about things not being very good today. I often say that hope is a tool for dark times, and psychologists agree. Hope is unique among emotions in that it's more of a positive emotion, but one that's actually used in negative times. It's the act of seeing alternatives and acting on them. It's goal-directed thinking. It's literal circuitry in our brain that activates when we make plans for the future. Hope is really important for social change because when we feel hopeful, we're more likely to have empathy for others, we're more likely to be open to changing our mind, and we're more likely to take action. To be hope-based means to base our activism on the change we hope to see happen. This is based on this insight from neuroscience that we human beings learn attitudes and behavior from what we see from other people around us. So if our goal is social change, we have to take that change and put it in front of people. Just telling people what's wrong with the world isn't going to actually make them adopt our change. So people need to see it before they can support it, let alone act on it. We all have this negativity bias that makes us instinctively want to focus on what's going wrong. But if we want change, we need to actually be conscious of that bias and correct it by also showing the alternative. And that's what we're going to try and do using hope-based communication. To make sure in our day-to-day work, we're always conscious of that negativity bias and balancing it out with the actual change we want to see. I really strongly believe anyone can use this approach. I developed it at Amnesty International because I realized that me just going to my colleagues and telling them to change their approach didn't work. We all need to change our own mind. Hope-based was born as a very simple checklist that I made for colleagues at Amnesty so they would ask themselves questions that would lead to new approaches. Questions like, what are the emotions I want my audience to feel? Have I actually made the case for my solution? What's the moral case, the values that I'm for that will lead to change? Have I given the audience an opportunity to actually be part of this change? And crucially, are the people in my stories just victims, or have we seen their humanity as well? Anyone can use this approach. It's about asking yourself questions. Sometimes when people hear the word hope, they get this idea about positivity or optimism. They think it's about just looking at hopeful things and ignoring the bad things. The whole point of this approach is that it's not about telling a hopeful story. It's about finding the hope in every story. I am on a mission to apply brain science to human rights. I believe by doing this, we can make compassion common sense. All I know is we need to do certain things a little bit differently. So I really encourage you to just engage with it. Take on the things that work for you. You're welcome to leave to the side the things that don't work for you. And let's have a conversation about how it works. So I invite you in that spirit to be curious about the science, ask questions about it, ask yourself questions about what it means for how you work, and then make your own mind up.